Hello everyone, welcome back to LewisFiction and welcome to Rewriting Spider-Man 3. Yes, this has been long awaited, but I'm going to rewrite the film to maybe just tweak some things to try and make the film a little bit more cohesive and try to make the film a little bit less crowded as it was originally. But if you enjoy weekly Spider-Man stories, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell as well so you do not miss any more uploads. We're so close to that 5,000 subscriber mark. I would love if we could reach that this summer. With that said, enjoy my rewrite of Spider-Man 3. So our story will largely be the same, but I wanted to implement some minor changes here and there. I know I've gone on before saying that I never want to make a rewrite video for this film, but the more I think about it, the more that this film could have genuinely been one of the best Spider-Man films ever made if it wasn't for Sony's involvement. So let's start at the beginning. First of all, I'm completely taking out the symbiote and Eddie Brock from this story. As much as the symbiote is a representation for the regret and guilt that Peter has from Uncle Ben's death, I think it would be much more powerful as a narrative if Peter declined and regressed as a character based on his own flaws and not the symbiote. It would make his breakdown so much more impactful knowing that the character we once knew was unrecognizable. Not because of some alien, but because he is genuinely hurting. We will begin the film in the same way. Peter and MJ are getting on really well with each other, and the city loves Spider-Man to bits. I want to carry the theme of Peter becoming overconfident a little more as well. Since Eddie Brock isn't around anymore, I'd spend some of the extra minutes we have during this opening to delve more into the idea that Peter is kind of becoming cocky. Peter has never had anything in his life up until this point go right for him, so this will almost be like a big breakthrough moment. His rent will be on time, J. Jonah Jameson will be happy with his pictures, him and MJ will be doing great, and the city will absolutely adore Spider-Man. We will even have an action sequence during the start of the film with Peter stopping a crime or a lower level villain like Shocker, where the crowd goes absolutely wild. This theme will carry on throughout the film and a majority of the first portion of the film as well. Also during this time we'll also get the Harry Osborn attack that happened in the alleyway with Peter coming out on top, Peter telling Aunt May that he's going to marry MJ, and so on. A bunch of the other story beats that happened in the original film that won't particularly get changed much here. However, when it comes to MJ during the start of this film, she will mostly be the same. However, it will be made clear to the audience that Peter doesn't pay enough attention to her, and her acting career isn't going the way that she wants it to. But every time she tries to bring it up to Peter, he kind of acts like it doesn't matter. And this will be a running theme that kind of boils over later on in the film, and you'll see when that comes into play. One character that I know a lot of people would remove from this film, but in fact I would actually keep, is Gwen Stacy. Now Gwen plays an important role in the story between Peter and MJ in the original film, and I'd like to sort of keep that same dynamic. Peter kissing Gwen during the celebration of Spider-Man scene perfectly encapsulates the confidence that Peter has grown, and he is kind of becoming annoying, and the audience can see that. This is the start of Peter's downfall, not only because he's cheated on MJ, but this is where we are introduced to the Sandman, just like in the original film. However, Flint Marko in this version of the film is a little different to the original. Instead of being the actual killer of Uncle Ben, he will just be an escaped convict looking to get money for his dying daughter. During the battle, as Flint tries to rob a truck with a load of money in it, Gwen Stacy will get caught in the crossfire and will actually be killed in this interaction, very loosely adapting the death of Gwen Stacy. So instead of Uncle Ben being the thing that ties Peter's and Flint's stories together, it will be Gwen Stacy instead. Now, I know that connection isn't nearly as strong as the Uncle Ben connection was, but it does do two critical things for the story. Number one, it preserves the idea that Dennis Carradine was always the original killer of Uncle Ben, allowing that story to go untouched and unchanged from Spider-Man 1. And number two, it allows Peter's regret of losing someone because he couldn't save them play out in real time. In the original film, Peter's regret is that he didn't catch the real killer of Uncle Ben. However, in this film now, his regret of not being able to save someone actually plays out in real time in the actual film. At the end of the battle, Sandman will escape, and Peter will blame himself for not being able to save Gwen. J. Jonah Jameson and the media will blame Spider-Man and Sandman equally, and Peter's world comes crashing down as the death of Gwen Stacy sparks a massive debate among New York as to whether Spider-Man should still be at large. This is where the conflict between Peter and MJ sparks in the film. Peter is angry. MJ is sad for Gwen's passing, but doesn't let up on the fact that Peter cheated on her. This will also be when we learn more about MJ's acting career, and she will tell Peter that he hasn't really been paying attention to her. It's all been him, Spider-Man this, Spider-Man that. She will tell him that she's been struggling, but Peter has barely noticed, and once something bad happens to him, she's expected to be 100% there for him, when it doesn't really work the other way around. This will enrage Peter as he can't see through his own ego, and will tell MJ that he was going to propose to her. MJ tears up and storms away from him. And if it couldn't get even worse for Peter, it is then revealed that Captain George Stacy of the NYPD and Gwen's father is also placing an arrest warrant for Spider-Man, and also placing a bounty on his head for anyone that can capture him and bring him in. After the midpoint of the film, we will catch up with Harry Osborn. Once again, like the real film, Harry and MJ will meet up and hang out for a while. Obviously, this wouldn't have been sparked from the fact that Harry forced MJ to break up with Peter like in the original film. This time around, this interaction between the two of them will be genuine, and the friendship between the two will be properly on show. However, in my version of events, his interactions with MJ will lead to him remembering the events of what happened to his father, and him unmasking Peter in the second film. This is when we cut to Marco, who at this point in the film will have another scene with his daughter, where he is once again told to leave by her mother. They will have a dispute about the death of Gwen, when Marco reveals that he didn't mean to kill her. He would never do anything to hurt anyone. He'll say he just wants the best for their daughter. But it's revealed that Penny is in fact dying faster than expected, and Marco has to do something fast. This is when Marco sees the bounty placed on Spider-Man's head, and decides that's the perfect way to get money he needs fast. All he needs to do is take out Spider-Man. Peter is at his lowest. He feels alone. MJ's left, Gwen's dead, and the public hates him. What now? This is when Peter decides to pay Harry a visit, unknown to him remembering everything. This will be similar to the scene we got during the actual film, except Peter will find out that Harry actually remembers everything in real time. We also have to remember as well that Peter won't have the black suit during this interaction too. This time around, it won't be the symbiote, but rather Peter's rage and anger and ego all out on Harry. Harry will say after being beaten down, he thought they were friends, and Peter will say they were. However, unlike the original film, this is when Peter realizes what has come over him as he looks around. He looks at the damage, the destruction. Harry, just about getting up to his feet, will tell Peter that he needs to stop. This needs to stop right now. He will tell him about MJ and what he did to her and how it was unacceptable. Peter will look down in remorse. Peter will realize that his best friend stood there injured in front of him because Peter's ego was too damn high to realize that he was the one that caused all of this drama. Everything with MJ, everything with the Sandman and Spider-Man, it's all come crashing down, and now he's taking his anger out on the guy who was meant to be his best friend. He tells Harry that he's sorry, and Harry says it's too late for that. It was too late when he murdered his father. And with that, Peter leaves the Osborn mansion. And this is where the final battle will occur between him and Sandman, as Sandman attacks Spider-Man. However, Peter won't enter this final battle for the fame. He won't approach it for the recognition. He will approach it because stopping Sandman is the right thing to do, whether the public like him or not. Thus, Peter has a choice. Peter has a responsibility to be Spider-Man, and his character comes full circle. Just as the original film was, Flint will transform into the massive sand monster and will be overpowering Spider-Man. I know he had Venom on his side during the original film, but I'm going to buff up Sandman's powers here a bit to give Spider-Man a run for his money. Flint will get Spider-Man down, and Harry will see this on the news. Just as the original film played out, Bernard will tell Harry about the glider that killed his father and how it was his own fault. Harry sees Peter struggling and about to die, and he can't let that happen. So similar to the original film, Harry swoops in to help Peter. However, the fight will be brutal. During this time, MJ will also arrive on the scene, as she will catch glimpses of both Harry and Peter on the news fighting the Sandman. During the fight, they will both manage to defeat Sandman, however at the cost of Harry's life, similar to the original film. Harry's death is so fitting and works here as well as the original film because it really brings Peter and MJ back together. In his last moments, Harry forgives Peter as he dies in his arms, with MJ rushing toward him as well. In the aftermath, Flint tells Peter that he didn't mean to kill Gwen, and that he's sorry that it ruined his life. Flint will publicly come out and say that Gwen's death was his fault as he looks to rectify his mistakes. And with that, the city forgives Spider-Man as well. And most importantly, Peter apologizes to Mary Jane, and she forgives him in one final slow scene, which will end the film. This way, I feel like we could have a more solid, more rounded ending without the inclusion of Venom and Eddie Brock, whilst also keeping the themes of forgiveness and choice. And with that, that is my rewrite of Spider-Man 3. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to like on it, and also make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell so you do not miss any more videos in the future. Comment down below what you would have done differently in Spider-Man 3, or if you wouldn't have changed anything at all. I want to hear all of your thoughts and your fan fictions in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on Sunday for a brand new video. Take care, and peace.